I still don't know what's so funny. You're in the background always smiling at me. Like, what? Are you planning something? This isn't the dream world. This is the real world, bitch. Hey, what's up, guys? It is Rob, and I'm back with a brand new list video. And yes, Freddy's right there. Like I said, he's always smiling. Better get that look off your face before I knock it off. That's what Mr. T said. Yes, I'm going to be doing a response video to Sean Erschen over at the Horror Corner. He did his top 20 kills in horror, which I thought was an amazing idea because when you think about it, there are thousands of great kills in horror movies. Some are iconic, some are disturbing, some are even hard to watch. Some are realistic, some are just funny. There's all different kinds. And I think I have a good mix here. I have some disturbing ones, some gory ones, um, iconic. So I have a good mix, and I decided to do my top 20 favorite kills in horror. Now, this is just my personal list here. Just my opinions. I'm neither right or wrong on any of these. But like I said, there are thousands. It's impossible to think of them all. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. Again, this is a response to Sean Erschen. Go subscribe to him. Go check out his videos. He is very, very good at reviewing movies and talking about horror and other things. So I'm going to go from 20 to 1, 1 being my favorite, obviously. So let's get started here. Number 20 is Brightburn. And the scene that I'm talking about is the heat vision through the eyes scene. He shoots his heat vision into this guy's eyes, and the rays come out the other end of the guy's head, and his head kind of like pops open, because his eyes are burning so bad, and he's screaming, and that's just really cool. It's like he has Superman's powers. Like, what if Superman went rogue and just started using his powers for evil? Started, flying into people, knocking their heads off with his super strength and using his heat vision to kill people. And I don't know. It's just very interesting. This movie was really cool. And there are a lot of good kills in this movie, but that was my favorite, the heat vision scene. So that's number 20. The heat vision scene from Brightburn. Number 19 is from Final Destination 3, and it is the tanning bed kill. It's so creative. I never heard anything of like a tanning bed catching fire and burning someone alive. I mean, that's just like, when you think about it, it's kind of crazy. But I like the build up to. I mean, first of all, you get to see two naked women who are hot, so you get to see some boobies, so that's always a plus. But then those boobies get blisters, and it's all ruined. Damn it. Anyway, yeah, they get locked in a tanning bed. The heat starts to go up. Their skin starts to blister. They're screaming. They're freaking out. The glass breaks on the bulbs, cuts them up a little bit, and then all of a sudden, the blisters on their skin start to pop open, and like pus and all that starts coming out. It's it's crazy. Then they start to catch on fire and start burning in the tanning bed. It's a little bit disturbing to watch. I think anything that involves someone being burned alive is just so, it's even worse than watching a gory scene, in my opinion, because it's just so realistic. But yeah, that's that's a pretty fun kill there, the tanning bed scene. All right, moving on to number 18 is an iconic death scene, and that is Mrs. Voorhees getting her head cut off in the original Friday the 13th. You know what? She went around killing the camp counselors just because they weren't paying attention when her son, drowned. They were making love while the young boy drowned. His name was Jason. Jason should have been watched every minute. I guess I don't blame her. She had a point. Okay, she had a point. But she got her head cut off, and that started the rampage of Jason coming back and getting his revenge over and over and over and over again. But it was still a cool scene. I love the slow motion effect. The head flying off is pretty cool. So, Mrs. Voorhees is terrifying. Okay, gosh, yeah. So that's an iconic kill. Friday the 13th. That's number 18. Okay, number 17 is An American Werewolf in London, and this is Jack's death scene, which happens in the beginning when they're kind of hitched. They're backpacking, they're walking, and they go to that tavern, and then they were warned. They leave, and then they get attacked by the werewolf, and Jack just gets mauled. He gets ripped apart, and he's screaming. And it's, oh my God, like that. I remember watching that at a younger age. I don't know. I was probably junior high ish. And I could not get that scene out of my head. I mean, he just gets torn apart by the werewolf. And then the camera just shows him just laying there like, I mean, the makeup effects and the effects were great. So that's definitely a scene that just stuck in my mind. So that was number 17. Number 16, I have a lot of Friday the 13th ones, but this is Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter where I think her name is Nurse Robbie. When Jason's he's in the morgue and he escapes and he stabs the nurse with the knife right here, and then drags the knife all the way down to like where her crotch is, and she's going like, well, first when he stabs her, it's like and then he starts to, you can hear it like going through, like cutting, and she's like like that's another scene that I don't know. There's like hardly, I mean, there's blood like when he stabs her, but you can just, it's the sounds. It's the sounds. That's what does it when he's just dragging it down. That was a really cool kill. I really like that one. But yeah, Axel wouldn't leave her alone. He's horny. He's watching those girls on the TV shaking their asses. Axel just wants some vagine, and she wouldn't give it to him in a way. Then shut my mouth. Anyway. Oh, God. Anyway, yeah. Friday the 13th, Part 4, the nurse kill. All right, moving on. Number 15 is from Day of the Dead, and of course, Captain Rhodes, getting torn apart. That's probably the most iconic death scene from a zombie or a horde of zombies, let's say. They start tearing open his stomach and pulling off his torso, and he's like, ooh, ooh, it's crazy. I love the gore effects, and I think I like the gore effects in this more than Dawn of the Dead. Dawn of the Dead is my favorite, and there's some good ones there, but man, they really up the ante in this one. So, of course, I'd have to pick that one. And that maybe would have been higher on my list, but I like some of these other ones more. All right, so that was number 15. All right, number 14 is Jonah's kill in The Green Inferno. Now, of course, this is directed by Eli Roth. Kind of pays homage to Cannibal Holocaust. It's the same kind of movie. These, people go into the rainforest they start to it's kind of like a political group, and they get kidnapped by these tribe members, and that Jonah, he's kind of heavier set. He gets sacrificed first. They put him like on a rock. They basically cut off all his limbs, his arms, his legs, and then they dig out his eyeballs and start eating those. He just gets torn. I don't know. He gets the worst out of like everybody. It's slow too, really slow and painful. And the effects looked good. It really didn't bother me because I've seen, they do a lot of stuff better in Cannibal Ferox and Cannibal Holocaust, which looks more realistic. But Eli Roth likes to do over the top stuff, and it was over the top, but it was fun to watch, so it was good. That was number 14. All right, number 13 is Ghost Ship, and I'm talking about the wire cable. Right in the beginning of the movie, all these people are dancing on the deck of the ship, and with the captain and this little girl, and then all of a sudden this wire cable just goes across, and it starts to cut through everybody dancing, and it cuts through people differently. Like it depends if you're short or if you're tall. If you're tall, it might cut through your waist. If you're short, it might cut through your face. It's really cool. Then after the wire stops, there's all this blood on it, and everyone just kind of standing there, and then all of a sudden everyone just starts to like fall apart. That scene, like, when I first saw this movie, it's considered to be one of the most iconic, brutal openings ever to a horror movie. I don't know if it still holds that title or not, but it did. It's great. What a great effect and great, kill. I should say kills. All right, so that was number 13. Number 12 is Saw 3. And I'm talking about one of the best traps that they did in the whole series, called the rack. Basically, where that guy his arms are kind of out like this, and each part of the machine turns. So like his arm is in the rack, and the arm starts to turn like this, and it turns all the way to where it breaks. So his arms do it, his legs do it, and then the last thing to turn would be his neck, where it's just like this. And then it goes all the way around. I thought that was, it's disturbing because it's coming and it's slow. That's the thing. It's slow to get to the point of it. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's one of the best traps. All right, that was number 12. Number 11 is, of course, Terrifier 2, and that is Allie's death in the bedroom. He scalps her. Her arm comes off, and like he rubs bleach like on her wounds and stuff, and like she's actually still alive when she's on the bed. Like when he's just like this, and there's blood all over the wall and stuff. Like she gets. I just can't believe it is over the top. I mean, Art the Clown, I still think these movies are a little overrated. I mean, it's just all about the gore. But I think it's entertaining. I guess that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be entertaining. For gore hounds, it definitely works, So, of course, that's a no-brainer scene. So that was number 11. All right, number 10. We're in the top 10 now. Number 10 is Resident Evil, and it is the laser hallway scene. Where, the soldiers try to go down this hallway. They get trapped in the hallway. All of a sudden, there's these laser beams that come across and, like, start killing everybody different ways. Like, this guy gets his fingers cut off and gets cut in half, and like it's just the coolest thing. I remember seeing this for the first time in the theater, and when that scene came up, I'm like, this is amazing. Like, this is so cool, because they didn't have really anything like that in the first game, but it was just cool. I don't know, it's just an awesome scene. And then the end laser scene where it's like a net of lasers, that was cool. But yeah, really awesome. All right, number 9 is In a Violent Nature, and of course, the kill I'm talking about is the yoga kill, where the girl, she's standing on the cliffside. He stabs her, and he basically pulls her head through her stomach out through the other side, which, I mean, she's flexible already, but my God, I've never seen a kill like that. He basically turns her into a pretzel. But the fact that he pulled her head through like her stomach is crazy. So I like this movie a lot. I think this was very, very cool, very different from any other horror flick because they concentrated on the perspective of the killer a lot in this film. So the yoga kill. All right, number 8 is Jaws. And of course, I'm talking about Quint's death. Quint's death was very hard to watch. I was pretty young when I saw that. Basically, the shark comes up and he's trying to kick it away, and he ends up falling in its mouth, and it bites down, and he goes, ah, like that. And like he's getting, thrashed around in his mouth, and he's like, oh, and then he like bites down harder, and he's like, and man, oh, it's such like, I want to say it's one of the most realistic shark bite scenes, like where a shark actually bites somebody. I mean, it's I don't know. I thought the shark actually looked really good in that scene, and because they had like 3 sharks they worked with, but that actually looked really good. So very hard scene to watch. All right, number 7, Jason X, and it is the liquid nitrogen face crush scene. Basically, Jason gets this girl, dunks her head in liquid nitrogen, lifts her up, and her face is like this, and he smashes it on the counter. And it just goes everywhere. Amazing, amazing scene. And I think this movie alone has some of the best kills in the entire series because it's just, they have fun with it. It's Jason in space. They have fun with the theme of it. So yeah, great kill. All right, number 6 is The Blob, 1988, and it is Paul's death, where he's on the phone trying to call for help, and the blob, it was on the ceiling, and it basically falls on him, and he's inside the blob going like, oh, like this, and it's melting him away. Like his skin starts to deteriorate, and then he just starts to like melt. His face gets smaller as he's trying to get out, which is, oh my God, that scene is crazy. The effects are so good. And I love the original Blob, don't get me wrong, but people tend to shit on this movie, and I don't understand why. I think it's great. So that was a great death scene right there. All right, number 5 is from the original Alien, and it is, of course, Kane's death. John Hurt, he gets a face hugger on his face, and then when they bring him aboard the ship, he's eating dinner. He's okay, and then all of a sudden he starts to be like, "Oh my God!" And the chest burst alien thing happens for the very first time, and to see that the way they did it is just so disturbing. It is so disturbing the way he acts when it's like it's hurting him, and then it comes out, it just pops out of his chest and kills him. And God, the blood and just the reaction of the people in there are just, it's so realistic. Um, till this day, I don't think they've done better than that. I mean, they've done the chest bursting throughout the Alien franchise, but I still think this is the best representation of that. This is the best one they've done. So, the very first Alien. Number 4 is Scream, Casey Becker's death. Drew Barrymore, this is what started it all. That first scene, I saw this at a very young age, and the first scene where she gets played with first, I mean, he's on the phone with her, and then, you know, basically stabs her in the neck, starts stabbing her, and her parents get home, and she's trying to get a hold of him, like trying to wave him down, and he's basically stabbing her and gutting her while her parents are home and they're inside looking for her. I mean, that's just scary in itself. That's crazy. It's like having a dream where a killer is chasing you and you see help, but you can't reach it because you can't run in the dream, and the killer keeps gaining and gaining and gaining until he gets you, and there's help right there and you can't reach help. I mean, that's what that scene reminded me of. Like, the help was right there. Her parents maybe could have helped, maybe, but she, it's crazy. It's a crazy ass scene. It's what started the whole Scream franchise. So that's number 4. Number 3 is Hellraiser, and it's Frank being torn apart, where he's like, Jesus wept. The hooks with the chains start to hook him all over the place to where he's just kind of bound by them. And then, like, even on his face, it's pulling his skin, and then he just gets pulled apart. We have such sights to show you. Anyway, yeah, great scene, iconic scene out of even the whole Hellraiser franchise. So, number 2, Cannibal Ferox, and I'm talking about the head chop, eating brains kill. This guy gets placed under a wooden table with a hole in it, and his head goes kind of through the hole where it's kind of half and half. So this part of his head sticks above the table while his face and everything is underneath, and they put this bar up here to hold it, take a machete, and they chop off like a coconut the top of his head, and his brains are just splattered, and they're just right there. And you see the tribe members just going like it's on a table, and they're sitting there going, just eating them. It's on a table. Why not? It's ready to eat. Just, crazy scene. I mean, there's a woman who gets hung by her boobs with hooks in them. I mean, it's nuts. Yeah. Talk about a crazy freaking scene right there. Cannibal Ferox. My number 1 favorite kill in horror is none other than Tina's death in A Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't think that can be topped, at least not for me, because that scene still bothers me when I watch it. Everyone talks about Johnny Depp, okay? Johnny Depp, where, disappears into the bed and then all the blood comes pouring out. That is not as effective as Tina's death. I'm sorry. Tina's in the dream. Freddy's, killing her in the dream, but in the real world, she's dying too. She's getting killed the same way, but you can't see Freddy. But she's getting thrown around the room. She's on the ceiling, rolling around. Freddy slices her all the way down, like her chest, and she's getting thrown around while bleeding, and blood's everywhere on the walls, ceiling, all over the bed. She plops down on the bed, and blood goes all over still. I mean, it's just blood soaked. It is so disturbing to watch, like when she's getting thrown around. Still amazing. It is an amazing scene. Probably out of the entire Nightmare on Elm Street series, that this is the only. I mean, there's some great ones like Nightmare 4 with the roach, the bug scene where she turns into a bug. That was crazy, but this is the scene that I think is the most iconic. Did such a good job. So that's my number 1 favorite kill in horror. All right, guys. So there you go. That is my top 20 favorite kills in horror. Just my opinions, like I said. If you guys want to do a response, please do so. Again, go check out Sean Erschen, who created this. Go subscribe to him, show him some love, check out his other videos. And I might be doing more responses down the line. Also, more list videos like top 10s, top 20s, things like that. So stay tuned. Again, hope you enjoyed this video. This is Rob signing off. See you guys next time. Didn't I tell you to knock that off? Didn't I tell you to knock that shit off? I'm going to stop this and take care of business.